And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John.
Glory to you, Lord.
Jesus went across the Sea of Galilee. A large crowd followed him, because they saw the signs he was performing on the sick. Jesus went up on the mountain, and there he sat down with his disciples. The Jewish feast of Passover was near. When Jesus raised his eyes and saw that a large crowd was coming to him, he said to Philip, "Where can we buy enough food for them to eat?" He said this to test them, because he himself knew what he was going to do. Philip answered him, 200 days' wages worth of food would not be enough for each of them to have just a little. One of his disciples, Andrew, the brother of Simon Peter, said to him, "There is a boy here who has 5 barley loaves and 2 fish. But what good are these for so many?" Jesus said, "Have the people recline." Now there was a great deal of grass in that place, so the men reclined, about 5,000 in number. Then Jesus took the loaves, gave thanks, and distributed them to those who were reclining, and also as much fish as they wanted. When they had their fill, he said to his disciples, "Gather the fragments left over, so that nothing will be wasted." So they collected them and filled 12 wicker baskets with fragments from the 5 barley loaves that had been more than what could be eaten. When the people saw the sign he had done, they said, "This is truly the prophet, the one who has come into this world." Since Jesus knew that they were going to come and carry him off to make him king, he withdrew again to the mountain alone. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Please be seated. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Well, now that Jane and I are grandparents, we have the joy of interacting with our little bundle of joy, Victoria, quite often. And among all the pleasures that she gives us, one thing that we notice ever so often is how possessive she can be. Now, this isn't just unique to her alone. We both commented on this, and we saw this behavior in our kids when they were growing up. And some of you might have noticed this also in children that you have interacted with in your lives. Now, when she comes over to visit, one of the first things she'll do is go to play with her toys. Now, of course, Grammy and Grandpa will be right there next to her, playing with them too. And every so often, Grammy will say, "Can I play with that? Can I play with you with this toy?" And most of the time, Victoria will hand it over and they'll interact and play together. But sometimes, Victoria will say, "No, mine." Well, at that point, Jane will sit her down and have a heart-to-heart talk with her about the positive qualities of sharing. Now, my question is this a learned behavior? Or is it in the DNA of humans not to want to share all the time something that belongs to them? When I was a little kid, we had a dog. Nice little dog, furry, just the nicest thing in the world, cuddly. And I remember the first time that my mom put the bowl down for him to eat. And I always petted him right on his nose. And so when he was down in the bowl eating, I was only about 4 years old, I went to pet him. And all of a sudden this little cute little dog became a monster I'd never seen before. His teeth gnarled this big, and he growled. And my mom just nonchalantly said, "He doesn't want to share with you. He doesn't want to share with you." So it's not just innate in humans not to always want to share. For example, in the jungles of Southeast Asia, monkey meat is a delicacy. And the natives have found that catching a monkey for dinner is a very simple task. All they do is cut a coconut, make a hole wide enough so that a monkey can slide his hand in. They then drill a hole on the other side and put a rope and tie a knot, and then secure the other end of the rope to a tree. They'll then put a shiny object in and just wait. When a monkey walks by and sees that shining object in the coconut, that is irresistible to that monkey. They have to have it. So what the monkey does is put his hands in the coconut, and the next thing he does, grasp it. And now his hand is too big to get out of that coconut. And all the people have to do is walk over with their clubs. And even when this monkey sees these people coming with his clubs, like a little child, he is saying, that's mine. I'm not going to share it, no matter the consequences. And of course, the consequences is a 3-course dinner for the natives. And that's what happens. So, what I see in this story is a bigger picture. Now, obviously a monkey is faster and more elusive than a human. All the monkey would have had to do is release that object, pull his hand out, and escape. Now, I think if a human were in that situation, that's exactly what they would do. But then I get to thinking, people are in those situations each and every day, where for whatever reason, they are holding on to something so tight that they won't let go. It can be an addiction, a habit that they can't break, a compulsion or obsession. And they can be told by family, by friends, and even experts that what you're holding on to is a ticking bomb. It will destroy you. But many times, instead of unclenching their fist and letting go, they will hold on even tighter. For somehow they're convinced that this thing is the most precious, the most necessary, the most gratifying thing in their lives. Or it could be just the opposite. It could be that a person really does want to let go, absolutely wants to let go. But they feel that forces beyond their control have some iron grasp on their fist and absolutely will not allow that to happen. In the gospel reading today, we hear that 5,000 people came to hear Jesus preach. As the day wore on, the disciples were concerned that the people were growing hungry. So Jesus told them to go out amongst the crowd and find someone with some food. And all they could find in that whole crowd is one little boy that had 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. Now I get to thinking, in those days, when people traveled, there was no fast food restaurants or grocery stores, so they always carried food with them. I think what the miracle that day was that the crowd saw that this little boy opened up his hands and wanted to share with everyone everything he had. And this caused a ripple effect among the crowd to open up their hands and their hearts to also share with others. So what about us? Is there anything that causes us to hold on to something too tight? If our fists are clenched, then it's hard for us to open up, to let go, to ask for help, or even to share with others. So, what I would like, as a sign of our willingness and receptiveness to open up our hands and our hearts, is to now stand up, please, and to share with each other a sign of peace.
Peace be with you. Peace be with you.
I do.
How you doing?